Admiral Kirby went on Fox and Friends saying not only was it a success, but that China and Russia marveled at how effectively and efficiently we did on the Afghanistan withdrawal.
Let's talk about the Defense Department's annual report, because it is saying that Biden's fumbled withdrawal from Afghanistan was a propaganda gift to China. Do you agree with that?
No, I do not. And I don't know that that's the Pentagon's assessment that it was a propaganda gift to China. If anything, nations like China and Russia took a look at what we did in Afghanistan, and we've talked about this many, many times over the last year, and had to marvel at the speed, the efficiency, and the effectiveness.
People died. You had those planes of people holding onto aircrafts as it was pulling out of the country, falling to their deaths. That all happened. But they marveled.
13 American troops died. 160 Afghan civilians, thousands of U.S. citizens and Afghan partners were left behind. Biden's own senior military officers at the time told him not to do it, told him to keep Bagram Airfield, to use that as an evacuation point. Don't use the Kabul airport. And President Biden overruled all of them. And now we have, 2 years later, a retired admiral trying to say that the decision was a good one.
Not even 2 years later.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insulting.
At first, he's saying China and Russia marveled at what we did. But then when there's pushback, he tries to downplay what the report says. No, they attempted to capitalize on this.
The disaster that took place is one of the many problems, along with the soldiers that are suffering now by the way you ended that 20-year war, not you, but the administration, is that China is using it, and you could argue that Russia invaded Ukraine because of it.
Brian, so the report said that China attempted to capitalize on it. That's a big difference from saying that they did or were able to capitalize on this. I mean, they spread propaganda about everything. Brian, you know that.
First, they're marveling about it. Then he's admitting, yeah, maybe they tried propaganda, but it doesn't mean they were successful.
Good work, yeah.
This is ridiculous.
He knew at the time what the inner workings were at the Pentagon, and to stand up there and, like I said, try to defend the indefensible, to me, it's not only breaking with reality, and it's insulting to anyone who knows what happened, and we all do, listening to him today. But I thought about the 13 Gold Star families that were created that day, and for him to parrot the president and calling it successful. I mean, Joe Biden in September of 2021 not only said it was successful, and Kirby almost said it the same way. He's got his talking points down. But the president at the time said, no other nation in history has never accomplished anything like this. And I thought, you're probably right. No other nation in history has ever messed something up to this degree, trying to get out of a country.
20 years after the war began, it's not even like the Vietnam situation. It's a different kind. It was a different kind of moment. Instead of owning up to it, which I think we could all be not okay with it, but at least if you had some, I don't love the no sympathy kind of approach to this. I'm going, yeah, you're right. What about the Gold Star families? What about all these people? It's like they don't even matter. And you just go, no, it was great. It was a success. Remember, everything was fine. We got everybody out. You guys wanted them out too. Yeah, but this wasn't the way.
Americans are a very forgiving people. If they say, hey, I messed up, this was a bad thing, people would get that. They would respect that, but that is exactly not what is happening. You know, when President Biden, before all this was taking place in the spring of that year, he said, reporters had asked him, is this going to be like the withdrawal from Vietnam and the embassy in Saigon, to which the president said, very interesting, it will be nothing like Saigon. And he was exactly right. It was like 20 times worse than anything we saw at the embassy in Saigon.
I'm still heartbroken by the fact we lost 13 Americans at the gates there in Afghanistan. Not only was it a gift to the Chinese Communist Party, but Chairman Kim would have seen that. The Ayatollah in Iran would have seen that. We've never left folks behind before, and we did. And so to hear Kirby out there this morning saying this wasn't a gift to so many, frankly, when you say gift, it weakens America, puts us in a more difficult position to deter our adversaries. It's embarrassing, and it's not factual, and it further weakens the credibility of the United States to our friends and allies around the world as well.
Still think it's one of our biggest marks of shame in recent history. And we can't let the Biden administration go about rewriting that history.